All right. We're live. I just can't share mine too. Zach and Renan, we are irresponsibly long and absolutely terrible at production. And don't worry, the new mics, the pro mics, are on the way because these are terrible. So apologies for all that. Let's get into some fun stuff. We left off last time talking about Dcenter, and I will start with saying it's Renan's fault, but it is my biggest bag. He told me about it back in August. Browse to earn. Kind of comparing it to the Brave, the basic attention token, which has been pumping quite nicely. It's up today 107. What's their market cap? Around 1.5, 2 billion. So I just want to tell you about Decentr again and have a little bit more time to talk about it. So browse to earn digital data economy. It is built on Cosmos Tendermint. It's a native blockchain. It's released. Their production desktop browsers are out. They're working. You can browse to earn. You collect what they call PDV, personal data value. And their rewards go out once a month. They distribute 100,000 DEC. And as the token goes up and as the community grows, the idea is that there'll be more and more to work with. What do we like about the future of Decentr? We like the fact that they're on Cosmos. We like the fact they are working on IBC, interblockchain connectivity, then osmosis, which means they'll be connected to their decentralized exchange. Get that one right. So they'll be connected to that, and then XDeFi, and they're going to have the world's first interblockchain wallet browser, HIPAA compliant, GDPR compliant.
Wait, that's huge. So can you explain that in more detail with this
which thing is
wallet?
Yeah. Well, so so talk to me about getting money from A to B as it is right now, right? I mean, just trying to get something over to Matic. Try to you gotta send it from where you start in Coinbase, and then where you send it from there. Send it to send it to MetaMask, and then you got to bridge it and go over to the Poly Bridge and Plasma Bridge. Yeah, bridge it wherever, and it's just step after step. And especially if you're going from Ethereum to Matic, you're paying multiple fees. You're paying a fee to start the bridge. You're paying a fee to finish the bridge, and if you haven't bridged those things before, I think you pay another fee for that too, right? It's absolutely terrible.
I prefer just half-built bridges, and just losing money on the bridge somewhere, like I did it earlier this year.
Oh yeah, bridge to nowhere. We've built some of those.
Yeah, bridge to nowhere.
Yeah, I've made a few of those mistakes myself. Not exactly the same, but we've all roasted some money. Love to talk about that. It's good to know how we screwed up because we don't want anybody else to make the same mistakes. We'll definitely have more shorts on what not to do.
Okay, so explain to me. So with this solution coming out, here was a scenario where I lost money, right? So I did well on Floki Inu. Cashed out. I was like, let me get some of this back into my checking account so I can pay some bills. So I sold half. And at that point, it was from, on MetaMask. So I did it from PancakeSwap, right? I swapped on PancakeSwap for USDT, Floki for USDT. And because I was in a hurry, getting ready to go to NYC, NFT NYC, I saw that USDT in my MetaMask wallet. And I knew I had to go to Coinbase, so I got my USDT Coinbase address, sent it, waited. Transaction after a few minutes on the blockchain said complete, but yet the money never arrived because USDT is not wrapped USDT; it's just USDT in MetaMask, and so I didn't remember that I was on PancakeSwap, I was on Binance Smart Chain. And Coinbase does not support BEP, was it BEP20? BEP? Blockchain, right? Binance Smart Chain. So after some emails to Coinbase, they said, well, if we ever support BEP blockchain in the future, we can then maybe help you get your funds.
Wait, well, let me just try to understand what you just said, though. So it's not that your money is gone. Your money is in
somewhere.
No. Your money's in Coinbase's wallet. And Coinbase doesn't want to take the time to look and send you your money back. Now, you had the same problem with somebody else. Wasn't it KuCoin? Did you do this? You did this once before. And what were you sent? Did you send BNB to Ethereum? What the heck did you do? No.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Zach, for bringing that up. Right. I didn't make the mistake once. I made it twice.
You made it twice, right? Well, we're trying not to make it three.
So I did the same thing from Polygon. Except from Polygon, I was like, oh, let me get some USDT or C, whatever. Let me get that over to KuCoin. Same thing, never arrived. I think I did that first. That was my first one. Then I did Coinbase.
But wait a second. But when that happened, what network did you send it from?
KuCoin.
You tried to send in USDT, and you sent it on what network instead of what network? You sent it from the wrong place.
Matic. On Matic. KuCoin doesn't support Matic.
So you sent it from Matic, even though you were supposed to, but you sent it to...
from my MetaMask wallet, right, Matic, on the Polygon blockchain, to KuCoin.
So you sent it to an Ethereum address. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. So you sent something from Matic to Ethereum, and so what KuCoin do?
Well, KuCoin actually was much more responsive. They said, well, yes, we can send it back to you. Please send us $30 in USDC to this address. Then this was by email. So
that's back when gas was $30.
First I started by chat, and they're like, well, you're going to get a support email. That support email is going to have these instructions. Send us the $30, which covers basically just labor cost of.
Okay, well that's fine. $30, no big deal. Sure, give me my money.
Once you've sent it, send a screenshot of the transaction or the transfer. What do you call them? The transaction address, the transaction number, the hash, to us and for proof, and then within 5 or 7 days, however.
Okay, so let me just summarize. So you had money in Binance. In Matic. You threw it up against an Ethereum address to KuCoin. They said, "Hey, just give us $30 and we'll dig your money out and we'll fix it for you." And they fixed it and you got your money. Is that right?
And we'll send it back to the original.
Okay, they turned it around, right? Because they couldn't really receive it, but they could get it out. They could undo, basically do the opposite. Okay, so now fast forward, you do this with Coinbase. And Coinbase basically says, "Too bad, how sad."
Right.
Now, I will say I do own a bunch of Coinbase stock. I'm really looking forward to their NFT marketplace. They're really a number one player in the U.S. market, and they're positioned. But it's kind of like my feeling about Tesla, where I also own stock. Their service is terrible, and it's really super annoying. Like, why do they have to be so bad? And Coinbase, if you call them, it's like.
They can do it. Obviously, if KuCoin could do it, Coinbase could do it. But
right. And when you call Coinbase, I haven't called Coinbase in a few months. I admit the last time I called them, it was basically like press 1 to file an SEC complaint and to find out how. And when that's the first thing on your message, it just makes you scratch your head. You're like, wait a second. Your number one customer service consideration is how you can file a complaint against the company you're calling, and that's what you're focused on. You're not focused on trying to help them. And I know they said they're going to try to come out with a premium service, and this wasn't even meant to be about Coinbase and KuCoin. Now it is, and it is infuriating, and we'll save Tesla for another day, first world problems. But
So back to the original question where they started. How does the wallet that Dcenter is going to, I guess, have native and integrated into their browser, how would that have avoided those two mistakes?
Right. Well, any chain supported by Cosmos IBC, now you're going to be able to move money around from one chain to another as if it didn't even matter, and those problems just go away. And there's lots of problems with wallets. Wallets shouldn't let us get sandwich attacked. Wallets, they shouldn't let us make bad swaps. The messages and the errors shouldn't be so tiny. They shouldn't let us, start a swap with a 25% slippage when it should be 0.5, and they shouldn't let us start it at 0.5 when it should be 25. And WTF, they shouldn't tell you that it's worth something if there's no liquidity, right? I mean, what did I know about the WTF team? Absolutely nothing. I broke my own rule and I gave away some money, and now I converted some of my Ethereum to USDC in my Ethereum wallet, which is really useful, especially given the fact that my value of USDC is like 1.5 gas transactions. So basically I can convert it back and get nothing. Nothing more useless than USDC on Ethereum. Right, I gained,
right?
$500 of experience, and
Yeah.
but let's talk about Decentr, right? So Decentr is solving these problems, and everybody's going to want a wallet that does this. Nobody wants to use these stupid wallets. I mean,
So what is it again? So what is it going to do? I just sold Floki on Pancake Swap, I guess, right? Using the Decentr, the funds in my Decentr wallet. Then I'm like, gotta catch a plane quick. Let me send this over to Coinbase, which is my off ramp and only off ramp right now to get it back into my checking account. And I do that. I grab the address from Coinbase, a USDC address from Coinbase, plop it in, boom, click send. Last time I did that, I lost money. So now, in this instance, if I was using the Decentr wallet, what would happen?
Well, we'll have to try it out and demo it as soon as it's done, right? So this is the part of the Decentr tech
What's supposed to happen?
Yeah, what's supposed to happen? What's supposed to happen is that you're supposed to tell it where it's coming from, where it's going to go, and the whole thing happens, all at once, like it should have in the first place. And that's why Cosmos, talks about themselves as the Internet of Blockchains.
And what chain it goes to.
That's right. That's the idea. Internet of Blockchains, right? So that is Cosmos.
So it's integrating the whole bridge functionality into the transaction itself.
Yeah, no bridging. Bridging goes away. That's exactly right. So we're eliminating the bridges. It's taking care of it all. It's like you're doing one transaction, and it goes from A to B. So everybody's going to want this. Everybody's going to need it as soon as it's out. Everybody's going to be looking for it. Everybody's already looking for it to solve these problems.
That's what I'm saying.
So not only do you get browse to earn, which is what what Brave Bat is doing, you get an IBC wallet. You get osmosis, you get GDPR and Hipaa compliance, and on top of that,
why do I care about IBC and GDPR, which I don't even know what those are?
Well, IBC, that you care about that because that gets to the wallet that you want, so you don't keep throwing your USDC against the wall. But GDPR and Hipaa, so we're going to be, you're talking about enterprise, corporations, companies that are required to protect customer and employee privacy and information, and the current suite of tools that they have to use are not compliant. So in the UK, for example, every company is spending lots of money. It's a $1 trillion+ market for GDPR, and companies are getting fines up to, see if I get this right, 20 million or 4% of revenue, whichever is greater. So the fines are astronomical. We'll save our thoughts about tort reform for a separate conversation.
Okay. So
but basically,
does the Decentr browser fix that?
It's a piece of the puzzle. GDPR is very complex, and so companies are hiring consultants, kind of like a VAR, value-added reseller, to audit their processes, to audit their systems, to audit their software, and tell them where the gaps are, and to fill those gaps. And so, Decentr browser, the way if I had to take a guess, I think the most likely scenario is it'll be site licensed to enterprise customers, where they can install some number of browsers, or based on the annual licensing fee or paid monthly or whatever it happens to be. But most importantly, paid in DEC, so utility for the token. We're also looking at, Decentr has a homepage called DHub. There's all kinds of utility coming with Decentr. So another way for utility is just think when you go to Google or you go to Twitter, right? There's ads, there's promoted spots. I would fully expect that to happen in the Decentr browser as well, in the DHub. That's initial utility for companies buying those spaces, needing Decentr token to do that. And beyond that, one of the final pieces of this puzzle is the Android browser, which is in beta, doesn't have the wallet integrated yet, but we should be seeing out in a couple of months. There's a little bit of a pump there for you. We were talking about it the other day. It was too cheap. There's no reason. Any company is only as good as a team. This company has got great founders. They've had a year and a half of tech that's already out. Rich James, their chief creative officer, is getting on video calls every day to just wave the flag and let people know what the heck is going on over there, because there's so much to explain. I think even my pitch, their pitch, it's still a work in progress. There's so much to try to get out. Explaining a digital data as currency economy is a little bit obtuse to think about in the first place. And the fact that they've already got the building blocks together, along with IBC and an IBC wallet and osmosis integration and the mobile browser, it's just there's so much coming together in a very short period of time over the next couple months. I just don't understand how it's worth sub $10 million. And I guess
let's talk about that real quick. So right now, the market cap of DEC is right under 10 million. The market cap of Basic Attention Token is like 1.5 billion, 1.6 billion. So what that is what 150x difference between the DEC.
It's about, yeah. I mean, on a given day, it's been as high as 212 times increase. So what do we look at?
The revenue model. One sec. The revenue model that for Basic Attention Token is what? How do they make money?
I haven't used the browser a ton, but I've read about it a lot, and what I see is that it's based on ads. Watching ads, you're doing stuff to earn more BAT token.
Is Dcenter going to do the same thing?
One of many things would be ad revenue. So they're not focused around becoming Facebook, Google. What they want to do is give that value back to the user. So your data, depending on how you want it to be used, which you set in your own browser portal, you can benefit from your data. So if you want a company to be able to show you ads, to know what kinds of things maybe you've bought in the past or what kinds of sites you have navigated to get an idea of the things that you might like.
That's what Basic Attention Token does.
That is the only thing that they do. That's the one and only, right?
Decentr will do what Basic Attention Token does, but in addition to that, they've got other revenue.
They've got the IBC wallet. They've got plans for DeFi loans. They've got the osmosis integration, coming right for the osmosis DEX. They have.
Does that mean that they're going to be the first cross-chain wallet?
It's got to be coming soon, right? I can say it'll be, if it's not the first, it's going to be one of the first. I mean, this is all happening right now. This is new tech. Right. This is being deployed. So one way or the other, whether they're first or second or 15th, this is happening now. The problems that they're solving are the problems that need to be solved with gas and Ethereum. I mean, just look at the fact that Looks Rare did 4 million an hour in business. What did they end up doing? Wasn't it like their first full day? It was absolutely ridiculous.
Let's move. So Decentr. Okay, we've talked about Decentr. Cool. I think there's going to be some.
Yeah, I mean, a lot is coming up. Just look at that. Just look at the roadmap, and we'll keep talking about it. But I won't say I didn't warn you. When you see, and there will be, it's going to oscillate, right? Because people who've held it for a long time might have bought it on a really big pump. See, if it's coming back up, some of those folks are going to take their money out. That's okay. It's okay. We're good as so don't buy don't buy a pump. Look for some dips. Look for a few sells.
I mean, yeah, but on the long term here, I mean, wow.
Oh no, I mean. Yeah, I mean, it's still way down. I mean, in fact, if you buy right now, you're below my entry. My entry is about 13 cents, 13 and change. So, if buying it right now is cheaper than any DEC I ever bought, and I did put in one more buy the other day because it was like 6.9, and I had just I had the money from Looks, right? So I put that into Decentr because I said,
okay,
what am I going? Okay, so what did you get for your Looks? What did you do, and how is that working out?
That moves on the conversation. So when we got this, I told Zach, "Hey, check out, we got some free money this morning." He's like, "Cool." And a few minutes later, I see him, and he's on Uniswap about to swap it out. I'm like, "Hey, you can actually stake this." He's like, yeah, whatever." Blah. And he sold his for how much?
Like 270-ish.
70. Okay. So,
I know it was at 384 today or somewhere thereabouts. I mean, it's definitely doing
what
well.
What I said to myself and to Zach as I was doing this myself was this. I mean, OpenSea is a unicorn, right? Unicorn is what the exact definition is: a company that has over $1 billion in revenue with less than 50 employees or something. So and now their valuation is $13 billion. So I was like, well, in less than a year, a company went from scratch to unicorn, multiple, unicorn in less than a year. The NFT space is just getting started. everything is going to be tokenized. Everything is moving to be tokenized. They're tokenized through NFTs.
I got to make one comment on that. I mean, companies are going to be left in the dust throughout this. Blockchains are going to be left in the dust. Companies are going to be left in the dust. Platforms, protocols, websites. There's going to be pumped, dumped, and just implosions left and right, consolidations. Maybe some will buy others. But just as a heads up, like this space is going to be crazy. I mean, even ETH. I mean, I don't want to. I mean, I love Ethereum, but just this idea of everybody wanting to get away from ETH due to the cost, unless it gets fixed sooner than later, Ether is going to be its own undoing. Anyways, back to looks, but yeah. I just be scared. watch your back. That's all I got to say.
Well, look again. So NFTs, booming and very disruptive technology that is just getting started. Mass adoption is coming. Right, Coinbase is coming, right, with their NFT marketplace. So yes, Looks is going to have competition.
A flood of access, a flood of new money, new liquidity, and decreasing fees to participate. So all
Looks is
around
the first example, right?
adoption.
All the money that what has made OpenSea the unicorn, right, is by basically taking the profits, taking money out of the crypto ecosystem, basically, and putting it into their pockets, into their investors' pockets, which probably gets converted into US dollars, right, and is now out of circulation from the crypto environment. What Looks does is, right, paying back those fees to the users, right, through staking and through the fees. That money now,
are you making money on this already? How are you doing with the Looks that you received? So you staked yours?
Right.
What happened?
The case in point is, right, that money stays now in the crypto ecosystem and gets reinvested into the ecosystem. So if you're a user, I mean, if short of getting better pricing on OpenSea, because just that from listing price, the fees are lower on Looks.
Well, show me what you're making on this. I mean, how good can the APR be on Looks, this brand new?
Well, right now,
DAO.
let's refresh this. Right, so I got 400 the other day. I now have got 421.
So the APR is 837% Looks just for staking Looks?
It was 1,000. It went down to 800. It went back up to 1,000. So it seems pretty steady right now. And what they said was the first 30 days are going to be higher APRs and rewards.
Bonus APRs because they're trying to keep the value up. Well, very smart.
So
all tokenomics.
Right. If I hold for 30 days and Looks goes to zero, I mean, I collected 88. When was that? 3 days ago, roughly.
Was it Monday?
Roughly.
Yeah.
Monday,
Tuesday.
Maybe 5 days ago.
I don't even know. Every week feels like a month right now.
5 days, right? So let's say it was 5 days. So if I do in 5 days, so if we do 6 times more to get to the end of the month, right? $480. So yeah, if Looks went to zero and I only collected $480.
You're getting your money back just in ETH this month.
I should have sold
most of it,
earlier, but I don't think Looks is going anywhere. Yeah, their token value might dip, but I think that they're here to stay. Right?
Well,
they're here to be a player.
I would say if you have a stack though, this is the time where you really got to make a choice because you either want to get out or you want to stake it, because you either want to be staking during the rest of this first 30-day period, which you've got 3 weeks left. Or you want to get rid of it before this thing just, draws this typical curve where it's just going to bottom out. Like, just look at ENS or SOS if you want an idea of what we're talking about. All right, let's talk about some new stuff. If I'm
connected here, I am connected here. So here's another wallet, right, where I got 800 and now I've got 851. 851 and 183 in wrapped ETH. So, yeah, my feeling is they came out with this airdrop with a use case for the token in an industry that is booming, and at a time in a market cycle where NFTs are booming. They've come back from the October, November, December little bear market we had, and we're off to the races now. So
I would just say
Yeah.
this is better than most staking too. Most staking, if you just have the native, not the native rather, but just the token, and you're not providing liquidity, normally you're getting just that token back. You don't normally get back ETH2, and the only way you typically can get back something like ETH is if you're staking some combination of the token potentially and ETH, providing liquidity, and then you might get ETH or choose whatever you're going to get back. But this is a little bit looks a little bit rare, Renan. Looks a little better.
So, I mean, here, and just so last thing to point out, I haven't looked at exactly what is selling on here, what collections exactly, but we look at the volume, right? OpenSea volume. So this eclipsed OpenSea volume up until yesterday or today, right? Probably because of big ticket buys and big ticket sells. And I estimate that, or I kind of determine that because looks rare versus OpenSea hourly volume. No, looks rare versus OpenSea users, right? So a lot more users on OpenSea than on looks rare. But so the much smaller amount of users equaled much higher sales volume.
Well, that kind of makes sense because the people who got the airdrop and the really valuable airdrops would have traded more NFTs. Because they traded more NFTs, they got a better drop. Because they know more about the space and have more to sell, they were willing to go and try out anything else.
Right.
But it shows you how fast people are willing to run from OpenSea. I don't see much loyalty there when the biggest customers run away. Let's talk about something that we haven't talked about yet. Let's look at Axie Infinity, AXS. We've been looking at green candles for the better part of a week or so now. And every day people are asking, of course, we don't give any financial advice. It's for educational and entertainment purposes only. But if I were to guess what might happen, I don't want to buy a pump. And one thing that's really not moved is Axie Infinity. As you can see, it hasn't really gone anywhere since back in late August, early September. It pumped huge. Remember, they did the airdrop back then, and even with the airdrop to the folks that had played Axie, in late 2020, got a drop in late 2021. Now, I have tried out, I do have a Ronin wallet, and I tried back in August moving about, I don't know, $18,000 worth of SLP and AXS in there, and did some breeding and bought a whole bunch of fish, and did a bunch of research, and then aped in some plants and didn't do quite as well. And all at the same time, the market slid. The amount of Axies in the market was booming, and the amount getting bought was sliding. So it was not a great time for me to get in. I got out about 2 weeks later. I exited about $3,000 lighter, but it really wasn't that bad considering it was literally the first inroad into NFTs, and I probably traded 30 or 40 Axies, something like that. But the game has been around. The game is growing. I mean, there is a huge loyal Axie Infinity community. Now, there is a caveat, which is that the company can play with the tokenomics. If they want AXS to have more demand, they can raise the price of the breeding. If they raise the price of the breeding too much, then people won't buy Axies, and if people aren't buying Axies, and you don't need SLP and you don't need breeders. So it is a delicate balance, and they definitely need to see future user growth in order for there to be any value. But what I will say is it hasn't moved with everything else yet. So if you believe in the company, it might be something to look at. Now, I have played with it in the past. I'm out. It's a little risky for me, but if it's something you've been looking at, it's something you did want to get into, the entry doesn't look too bad to me. You never want to go put all your money into one position all at one time. If you want to take a really, really big position, you best do it. You best average it, and you best average it over at least a period of months, or you're probably going to get screwed. But if you're looking to take a modest position, it could be interesting. What do you think?
I think we're on the daily going to see a death cross where the 50 moving average crosses the 200. I think that's inevitable at this rate, unless you had to actually do a massive, massive pump, which is like this, which is could happen.
And they're dropping aren't they dropping a Ronin token too? So, I mean, I think they are doing other stuff. I don't know exactly what that's going to mean. So I think what you're saying is maybe more research to do. It is down quite a bit. It could definitely keep going down. I mean, certainly the next level of support, I mean, we're talking it's got quite a bit further to fall.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see 48.
Wow.
I would, if we can mark it here. Let's see.
That's not going to help a lot of the other games in the ecosystem if that happens, though. I mean, if AXS and now that I think about it, the reasons that some of our other speculative games like Crypto Meta, like Tech on Matic, have dumped dumped 90%, it's probably because this is the blue chip. It's kind of like watching Bitcoin to watch Ethereum to watch the alts. I think in this case, watching AXS to watch the other games. If Axie Infinity is not pumping, then it probably makes sense that the others aren't, and we're probably, that's why we're seeing if AXS is down by 50%, then some speculative gaming alts are going to be down 90 or 95. So you definitely want to be careful with these companies that don't have products. This is a company with a product and with utility, and this still this still can happen. So be careful. Let's go back to some more NFTs. I love NFTs. I know we talked about the sneaky bats last week. Those are still sitting about 0.093. And there's one tool I should have used, didn't know, belonged to NFT Llama, belonged to SVS, of course, and don't always read their alpha channels. And NFT Llama, thank you very much, introduced Renan, because he actually read it, genie.xyz. Yep. And so Genie...
No.
Wasn't this Llama?
NFT Llama, no. NFT Llama was...
Oh, there was another similar... Okay, but same idea, right? So there's tools... Here's the point, right? The point is these are tools that you can buy multiple NFTs at once and pay one gas fee. So instead of sweeping my 7 bats last time and paying $700 of gas or whatever the heck I paid, I know I tried to increase the priority to bribe the miners. It works out a little bit. Maybe I got it for 80 each, but I could have bought all 7 for $80 or whatever, and I didn't. And now I know genie.xyz. I'm definitely going to be trying that out with my next sweep.
Here, so we could look at buy now. How's the floor price on these guys? Coming up?
No, Vamps are still sitting low.
Vamps, look at that.
No, Vamps have not been moving. I think they're at a low, at a fully consolidated level. I mean, I don't think they're going to come down a heck of a lot more. They're sitting right about where they were. At the reveal, right? I mean, because that's about the price at the reveal, between 0.7 and 0.8. And if you wanted a rare, you really had to pay, and that's probably still true now. But unless you got into the lottery, you pretty much paid around, or you bought, right after the mint, you pretty much paid right around here. So anybody getting it now is getting an entry that is comparable to most other people who have a vampire or less. Lots of people probably bought the pump. They got them for, 1 or 2 or 3 ETH. I know I have at least one for maybe 1.25 ETH, but it was a bit more rare, so I didn't mind as much. Although I don't chase rare features the way that I used to. I chase the floor because you're more likely to get a much better return more quickly, at least in my opinion, unless you have software to see the rares before they're revealed, because that's a whole nother game.
Well, it's another really cool software that I just came across and shared with you. So the Anti-Rug Tools is the one that you can get by owning the Llama Pass, or whatever it's called now, from NFT Llama.
Oh, so it's validated using the NFT Llama Pass.
Yeah. And
okay.
The other one was, let's see if it comes up, Trade Sniper. This is pretty cool.
Have you used either of those yet?
Yeah, I certainly haven't bought this one. This one's pretty expensive. It's like 0.6 ETH per month. But this one, if you're not looking to get the reveal, to snipe the reveal, then the free version is perfect. And here's what's really cool. Last sale, oldest, newest first. So this one was being hyped, and maybe it is, as the Bored Ape Yacht Club of Asia. Backed by a real company with the social media. I mean, there's a whole... I'm not going to get into it because I don't know enough about it, but worth looking into. And this tool is just pretty cool, because then you can look at last sale. You can rank. Let's see, I want just to look at the top 10%.
I got to say, there's no quick research in NFTs. It's very hard to come upon a project and actually be comfortable buying it right away.
But
There are some more name brands getting NFTs too. I saw the Gap had their first NFTs this week. I think I registered to try to get on the list. I apparently didn't pay enough attention, and whatever as they dropped, they sold out. But you had to buy a few of them. You had to combine them together, and then you get the chance to then mint an Epic. You buy these, and then you gotta put them together, and then you gotta buy more. Interesting. It's on Tezos. I thought that was pretty cool. That's something to watch. Fast, low cost, right? All the up and coming blockchains. Watch the transaction count. Watch the projects that are coming out. But I do think projects like Gap, like Adidas, like Playboy, like the Rabbitars too, and they've started to move. They were down to like 0.135 recently after the mint, which was originally around $800. Again, I mean, I don't imagine I'm going to make it to one of their parties anytime soon, but the people who did have a Rabbitar could claim tickets to events, including some of the stuff that was down in Miami, Decentr, the conference recently, right? Rabbitar. So they have started to move. They're back into the 0.2s. They haven't moved as much as like say Smiles post mint, but there's a lot of them too, and I think they have to prove the utility. But I think more important with brands, whether it's Playboy or Adidas or Gap or Coca-Cola, there's going to be demand. Look at this real quick.
What someone, this is the difference between a smart buy and we'll call it a dumb buy.
Let's see it.
Someone bought this an hour ago, right? Rank 497. Right? How much did he pay for it? I guess. Do we know how much he paid for it? Yeah, 40.45. Someone bought this one 56 minutes ago, ranked 10,000 for 0.22. So, sure, he paid twice what this guy paid, but for a much rarer one.
Well, you really have to like a project to buy a rare, right? I mean, for most people getting into NFTs, it's a luxury just to be able to afford the NFT. Most NFTs are already too expensive, and they're trying to find projects that they think are actually going to move at some point, have enough money to pay for the gas and for the one NFT. And I think it's just unrealistic to be shopping for the rares. You're really making a leverage bet on the ecosystem, and you're much more likely to lose money. The bigger your entry is on an NFT, the more you have to lose. I know that seems obvious, but maybe it's not, because if you buy an NFT for 0.1 and it's a great team, there's only so far to fall. Your downside is limited. When you buy an NFT for 1 ETH or 2 ETH or 3 ETH, and we talked about Cool Cats last time, right? We looked at Cool Cats and you said, hey, the opportunity would have been after the initial pump, it had pumped, consolidated, then it started to pump, and then it made a little dip. And you said, well, that might be a good time to buy. But in my mind, it could have gone all the way back down too. Now I love Cool Cats and I love Mutant Cats, so maybe, I have more faith in that community than others. But at the same time, it's super, super risky. I'd much rather be the guy who bought the floor than be the guy who bought it. I'd rather buy two. Think about this. Are you more likely to do better if you buy 2 floor NFTs here or buy 1 more rare? I mean, think about the timing of that, the time to your return. I mean, what is the question you ask whenever you make an investment? When am I going to get my money back?
Yeah, I mean, it's not buying a rare just for the sake of rare. I mean, then it's rare, and then you have to look at the specific trades. But, we'll leave that conversation for another time.
Yeah, I mean, if you got the money, you got the time, you know the developers really well. I mean, okay. But honestly, I think for most people starting out, and even most, even frequent NFT traders, I just don't see the value of chasing the rares. I think unless you see a rare drop to the floor, in which case go ahead and grab it. And if it's, plus or minus 10 or 25%, maybe you could, you can always think about it a little bit. But I think go for the floor. I think go for the floor. It feels a little harder to do. You might be like, oh, why is that color on the floor or that feature on the floor? It's on the floor because somebody wants to sell it today. It's not a bad feature. It's not a bad NFT. You're getting into the community. So I say, who cares? Buy the floor and leverage your investment, because at any time in the future, then when the floor goes up, you can easily sell. You're not waiting for a floor to be, twice as high as it needs to be for the whole project just because you bought a rare. Learn from my mistakes, eh?
Hey, look at this volume spike. My goodness.
What are we looking at here?
Nansen blue chip index. I mean, that's just an
so this is an explosion of volume within the projects that are blue chips.
Yeah. World of Women.
When is
Freebird.
I love the guys at Nansen. Greg, you made the best software. Uh, could you please fix the date range? Can we go to OpenSea?
I've had a conversation with them about that.
Are they? When is it going to happen?
When I had it, they said that everyone's having it with them. So it's certainly a feature that's coming, which is going to make this software just
I'm sorry. Anytime when you get compared like to Coinbase service, or anytime you get compared to OpenSea, it's not a great day. So just and again, I love Coinbase and I love Nansen. So I love you guys, and I want to see it improve. That's why we're poking fun. But please God, make it better. All right, show me the Rabbitars. Show me what the Rabbitars have done, because I think that it's interesting. They're a name brand, and I want to see what happened from the mint. As we usually see with a project, we'll see a pump, then we'll see a consolidation sometime after the reveal, and then typically once it consolidates completely, you might see it start to creep up as utility and things happen down the road. Well, it looks like we're seeing.
How do you spell Rabbitars again?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
There you go, right there, right on top. And you're verified. That is the easiest way to find a project. Look for that blue symbol right next to it, and there you go. 0.225. It's gone up 0.01 since we started the conversation. This would be a great place to use genie.xyz. There's tons of choices, and here you don't really have to. You can pick designs that you like. If you like certain NFTs more than others, like as always, we're in it for the art. Oh boy, but. Buy the floor. Don't go above the floor prices if you're looking at any of this stuff. But I like the way that chart looks, Renan. See, you've got that long level space from middle of December all the way to the present. So we got about a month, right? Just a couple. But look, and I love how the volume was set down. And when you see the volume go to nothing for that long, it's a pretty good indicator that it's not going to go much lower. Now, remember, people paid $800 for these. So once it get down to $400 or $500, the people believe in the project to say, screw that, I'm going to buy more. I'm going to bring down my average cost, and I'm going to stick it out because I think this is going to go up sooner than later. So I own 3. I did get them all at the mint price, and I never saw a price on the pump that I thought was worth selling. I thought that being a name brand, they were going to be better off held for a bit longer. Same thing with the Vamps, even though the Vamps pumped to 3. I should have sold all my Vamps that day. If I was really thinking, I would have walked away with 16 ETH, and then I could have bought another 20 Vamps with the money. But live and learn. You can't be so emotional about your NFTs. You have to write down when you get into an NFT, write down when you want to get out of it, because when you're looking at that pump, boy, it's really hard to do it. But if you bought a 1 ETH NFT and it's pumped 2 or 3x, especially if it's post mint and then post reveal and then you get a pump, you're probably going to get a chance to buy it back. Not will you always know, but will you probably 9.5 out of 10 times? Probably yes. So what do you think about this curve here? I haven't checked in on their AMAs or on their Discord lately to see what's up, but I would almost be willing to guess that there's some news because things have started to move. What about show me SnoopDogg? I saw an email from Sandbox and I said, oh, it's the SnoopDogg Early Access Pass. I got super excited. It said I had to buy it in Sand. I ended up screwing up my swaps. I ended up paying 3 Ethereum gas fees before I ultimately bought it in Sand. I bought it at the full mint price, only to go to OpenSea to see it in my bag as soon as I bought it and realized I could have spent about 30% less on the resale market. Always check the resales. Were you trying to find the project?
Yeah. What's it called?
Let me see if I can find that for you. Oh, here it is. It is called, it's in the Sandbox Assets. And then it's called the Snoopverse Early Access Pass. Oh, my word. That is...
Or am I going to get that?
Yeah, I know, right?
The Snoopverse?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, Snoopverse. Try that. Jeepers creepers. Or on OpenSea, you'll probably get it. All right, so here's what happened. So initially, they were minting in sand for what was, about an ETH or maybe a little bit more than an ETH. And as soon as I looked at OpenSea, they were down to like 0.6, and then even they bottomed it. There it is, right? There was land. There you go, Snoop first. Maybe it's got a.
Wait,
see, look at all this. Look at all the scams. There's. Here, let me send you.
It is that one.
Let me
7 items.
Let me send you a link now. It's only one item actually, as it turns out. So, all right, I'm going to send it to you.
Well, this is a floor price of 1,000.
Send it to you in Telegram. Yeah, that's.
Wait, is this a scam one? Telegram.
7 items, 4 owners, 1,000 floor price. Buddy, I have no idea.
Dude, that's.
Oh, there's 900 ETH volume traded. So somebody thinks it's worth something, or they move money from one wallet to another to make us think it was worth something. There, yeah. There's our early access. Yeah, it's weird. It's under the sandbox assets. It's the silliest thing.
Wait.
And then it's buried.
Okay, so what the f is that, man?
With 900 ETH traded, I mean, how many sales? They're moving.
Activity a month ago, so nothing before. Dude, are these people?
Oh, so those are the pieces. So these might be the pieces that were auctioned or sold next to his. We heard they went for about $500,000. So that's not too crazy. And I think we heard the same thing in Decentraland. Didn't we hear that too? Crazy stuff. You want to buy around a name brand, it's going to cost you. But this is still Sandbox is still very speculative, right? I mean, it's very new. It's got a lot of money, a lot of backing, a lot of projects. So most likely it's going to do pretty well. And of course, who doesn't like SnoopDogg? And
68.2 sand, 68,200 sand.
Yeah, times $5 or whatever the heck we're at right now. It's $5 or $6, right?
Well, what was it a month ago?
Yeah, it was more.
It was more. Okay.
It was more. It's not a big dot today. It's not a big crypto bubble today. So whatever it is, it's sitting wherever it was.
This is assets. So we're getting. Well, there was volume. Now it died out. So
right, a lot of press probably, and that was the time frame of post Meta announcement, and then everything went completely nuts. So I would say these are all that's a big old pump if I ever saw one, and I would definitely avoid the super expensive stuff. But some of these less expensive items, I don't know if there's a purpose for you to use these in their metaverse, then go ahead and pick some up. But the ones that are 10 grand, I don't know.
These are moving.
Yeah.
Let's see what 2 of them. Oxia Origin Project.
Are you into all sales now? Is that where you are in OpenSea?
Yeah.
Okay.
Activity.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy place to get lost. I did want to look at the Curio cards for a minute too. Would you check out the Mona Lisa? So back when I was thinking I was making pure, I had less degenerative thoughts about NFTs when I bought my Mutant Ape, when I bought my Curio cards, when everything was green. Bought pumps, bought not pumps, didn't know any better. Made some money on a Curio card. I think I got the book stack first, and it pumped, and I sold it. I didn't even know it had pumped, but I had it sitting on the market. It sold. Then I went back and bought 4 more Curio cards. I eventually liquidated 3, lost about 50% of my money on those because all the charts looked like this. I didn't sell them at the bottom, but I did see them start to slide, and I knew back in September I needed to get out. I had 80% of my portfolio in NFTs, and I looked over the cliff and said, "Holy crap!" and definitely ran for the hills on some of them. And the others, some I missed, some I liked, some I held, some I wanted the money because it looked good enough. Here, so this is the one Curio card I did keep, was my Mona Lisa. I had like I said, I had some books, I had some BTC keys. I think I had the MasterCard looking one as well. I just think that.
I mean, look, Zach, I wish I could zoom in here. I wonder if we can. Let's see, but
is there shorter? Oh yeah, there you go. That's great.
So look at that little pump right there of volume, like volume 32,872, 44,000, 9,000. So on much lower volume right now, were already exceeding.
Show me. Let's just show me the left. Just go into the description. Let's see how old this sucker is. I mean, this is an old NFT, and here's the thing: you can't make an NFT older than it is. There's a lot of new NFTs, and these suckers are super old. Right, May 9, 2017. There's not a lot of NFTs out there that were dropped in 2017. You know, you can go get a Mooncat, you can get yourself a Curio card, you can try to buy a CryptoPunk, but these are early NFTs, and in fact, these were out before the punks. That's why I was drawn to it. You know, I thought it'd be cool for me to own an Ethereum blockchain asset that was super old. How are the Mooncats doing? They consolidated as well. Wow, that looks kind of interesting. They're still, yeah, right. People are like, maybe I should buy. Speaking of maybe buying an old project, see, this is super interesting. When you get into a project that's a first of its kind, or it has a known team, you know, they tend to do interesting things. In this case, I think we're just talking about a JPEG, but it's super, super old, and I really, I've just always liked that, and I have always kind of wanted the Mooncat. Now remember, we're in a bit of a higher budget here. Now we're even you can get into a Curio card for about under half an ETH right now. You know, a Mooncat being over 1 ETH. This is not something that I would typically recommend to somebody who's new getting into NFTs, unless you have a pretty big bag, and this is just a piece of your bag. Now, if this is just one piece of your bag, then I would say a Mooncat could be pretty interesting. I personally, now the difference with the Mooncats than other projects is they were minted at different times. So there are some Mooncats that were minted last year, and then there was the Mooncats that were minted previously, and they go back over several years. It's actually a mint that took like 3 or 4 years to finish, right?
Okay, Zach. The other day, you were telling me that I should sell the Hopeful, right? This airdrop that I got from Phantom Galaxy's Origin.
Yes, because originally, so let's talk about that. So originally, now we both signed up. I think
you still stand by that. You still stand by that.
Well, let's walk through it, right? I haven't seen what it's sold, what it's priced at, but let's walk through what happened before you even show me the punchline. So we both connected our wallet to a site and said we want to be part of this, and we both got dropped an NFT. I got dropped the same one that 500,000 other people got dropped. Renan gets dropped the one that what did 2,500 people have your NFT, and it was worth close to $3,000 at the time. And actually, I thought it was a spam. I thought it was a spam. I think it was 27.
No, it wasn't worth $3,000. It wasn't worth.
It was worth $2,700.
Okay.
20. We can go back on the chart.
Right.
I'm guessing.
And that's how I got holding
so
it.
Then I said sell it at 2,700, and then I saw it go to like what was it 1,700, and I came to you and I said sell it. And you said, well, it's a cool game and they got stuff going on.
I said I want to do some more research. I want to look into the Discord and read about what's going on.
Okay,
make an informed decision.
What did you find out?
Well, I actually didn't do that research. I just said, F it.
Okay, then more importantly, what happened to the price? Hey, you're back up. Let's look at the history. It's unbelievable. This guy gets dropped. This is another example of magic internet money. You just have to be in the space, and you have to do stuff. You have to play. You need to have transactions in the wallets. Right now, just think about AVAX, Cosmos, Terra Luna, Tezos. Over time, get a little bit of each of these things, get the wallet set up and play with a few transactions, right? You're always telling me that. I haven't had a chance to do everything. I'm tied up in a few projects, like Dcenter, been pretty busy, and we only have so much time and every day, so we got to choose our projects eventually and have some kind of focus. But I have missed out on setting up all these other wallets. But in the meantime, just look at the recent Ethereum drops to give you a taste of what's going to come later. And companies are going to be growing and getting investment and need to market, and these airdrops are just going to keep on coming. And there's probably going to be more, not less, as time goes on. So,
all right.
What do you think?
I think we should wrap it up here.
I think we should wrap it up. Yeah, I think we pretty much hit just about everything I wanted to make sure we squeezed in today. In the meantime, let's go check Dece one more time. Let's take one more look, and then we should roll. Let's see how I'm doing.
What are you hoping for? You want me to see if it...
I don't know. I just want to look again. I like it. 34.5%. All right. Well, this is just the beginning. It's only just recovered.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, but I'll take that. Better. At least I sold my looks for something good, right? I bought this at 6.9 cents with that. So, and I'm going to stand by that. Whatever happens. This is just the beginning. This thing's worth. Not financial advice, but to me, this thing's worth $1 billion. Maybe not this year, but it has the capability and the capacity, and it's got the qualities that are needed. So,
I mean, basically, we have to look. You have to look at, I guess, how many users does Basic Attention Token have? If the only way they monetize and their revenue is basically by the ad spend and all that, then arguably, right, all Decentr has to do is get that same user adoption to at least have the same market cap. But like you said, right, Decentr, without going into all the details again, Decentr has a lot more revenue streams that it's about to deploy and, to actually be a company with revenue. So exciting stuff here, man.
Yep, I'm going back in my Twitter feed. I know that and you would think maybe because I love Decentr so much, I wouldn't be shilling bad. It's actually quite the opposite. I am totally a big fan of the browse to earn category. It's something that you brought to my attention when I first got into crypto, and I've always been very, very excited about. And I don't know how far back this sucker was, but I can tell you that it's been growing like crazy, and I retweet it whenever I can. So in 2017, they had 1.2 million users. By the end of 2018, it was 5.9 million, doubled approximately again to 11 million in 2019, 24 million in 2020, and they got up to 50 million in 2021, so 2.5 times year over year. So the market is growing. This bodes well, right? We want them to be successful, and what we're seeing with Decentr is they're doubling every 55 days right now. They're adding almost 200 users a day, and they're going to crack 10,000 users tomorrow. So the first major milestone, but many more to come, and a bunch of videos should be dropping this week too. So we'll have more to show you.
All right. The last thing I want to end with is this is a work in progress spreadsheet that we're using to track NFT plays, NFT projects from pre-mint to post-mint, and so where we have all the information you need basically in one snapshot here regarding each project. So right now it's private. We're keeping it to ourselves, but subscribe to our video as we keep working on this and automating it to have this really a functional tool. We will eventually make it available to our subscribers.
Yeah, and I can't wait to have some better graphs in here, because we really need to see the all-time floors, and we need to have a visitor, part of being a dad. I'd love to see the all-time floor, and I'd love to see their number of owners. I'd love to see how much is staked, supply, how many are available for sale, how many are staked, how many are unstaked, and their token value over time as well, because I think that, along with the floor, is going to give us a full picture. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, well, there are two parts to this: pre-mint, to just keep track of everything and not miss those important mints, and then post.
And by the way, that's Henry, my partner in crypto crime. And I've just been delivered my post my post vid snack. So until next time, Renan, we are irresponsibly long. See you later.
See you later.